All right, this is part 2 on linear equations. Remember part 1, we talked about slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope of the line, and b is the y-intercept of the line. And of course, x is your independent variable and y is your dependent variable. Now, what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about how are we going to use slope-intercept form to graph a line. So I've got a little sheet of graph paper right here. And we're going to graph the line. We'll just do something very simple here. Y equals x. Y equals x is considered to be a parent function. We'll talk about that later. And one thing I have to do before I start graphing is I have to analyze that equation. Well, I'm going to look at it in a different way. I know that the coefficient of x is a 1 because if there's no number written there, it's automatically assumed to be a 1. And I can put a plus 0 out here at the end. So what does this tell me? It tells me my slope is 1 and my y-intercept is 0. So I will go to my graph. This is my y-intercept. Y-intercept is graphed first. Think of it this way. I have two letters, B and M. Which one comes first in the alphabet? Well, B does. So B, the y-intercept, is graphed on the line, on the graph first. It goes on my y-intercept. Remember, the y-intercept is your vertical axis. And it goes at 0 on the y-axis. Well, here's 0. My slope is a 1. Now think about rise over run. We talked about rise over run as one of the 4 ways that we can describe slope. So what I really want to do is I want to take this number, which is not a fraction, and rewrite it into a fraction. So no matter what this number is, if this number is a 6, a 9, a -4, a -3, then whatever that number is, put it over 1. If it's already a fraction, you don't need to do this step. So this tells me my rise, which means I'm going to go up 1. This tells me my run, which I will go to the right 1 from this point, from the y-intercept. So I'll go up 1, right 1. And I'll do that several times because I think if I don't have a ruler, which I happen to have, the more points I put on, the more accurate of a line that I can draw. So let me go ahead and get my ruler lined up. And I'll draw the line. I'll put arrows on the end because it does go in both directions for infinity. All right, so that's a very basic function. Now let's talk about another one. Let's deal with y equals 2x, let's say -3. Again, let's analyze this slope-intercept form equation. What is my slope? It's a 2. Turn it into a fraction, 2 over 1. This is my rise, up 2 because it's positive. This is run, right 1 because it's positive. What is my y-intercept? The y-intercept is always a constant. It's a -3. And this goes on first. So y-axis, find -3, put a point. From that point, from the y-intercept, we will find another point using the slope by going up 2 and right 1. Let's do it again. Up 2, right 1. And one more time. So I have enough points there where I can go ahead and draw my line. If you don't have a ruler, you can use the edge of a book. You can use the edge of an index card. You can use the edge of a sheet of paper. You can take that sheet of paper and fold it a few times to get a nice strong edge. But you can use a lot of things to draw a straight line. All right, so we have drawn 2 lines. Both of them have a positive slope. Remember slope dude, the slope dude video that I showed you, puff, puff, positive. And that's what positive lines look like. They're going up, uphill. Let's do another. I will do two more. This one's going to have a negative slope. Y equals negative, let's say, 4x plus, let's go with 3. Let's analyze the equation. My slope is negative 4. Make it a fraction, negative 4 over 1. My y-intercept is a 3, positive 3. Goes on my y-axis, and we do it first. That's supposed to be a star, just to let you know, hey, let's do this first. All right, positive 3 on my y-axis. Let's go up 1, 2, 3. Put a point. My slope is negative 4. We're going to go down 4. And then positive 1 down here. We're going to go right 1. We almost always go to the right. There are some situations where we can go to the left, and I can show you that on this one. But first, let's go from this point. Let's go down 4, right 1. So down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right 1. Down 4, 1, 2, 3, miscounted, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, right 1. And let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, right 1. Okay, so I'm not going to draw my line yet, but you know what? I will. I can show you a situation when I can go left if I wanted to, instead of always going right. All right, so there's my line. I do want to say that we are allowed to go left. I can move that negative down to the denominator, and that means that I will go up 4 and left 1. So let's just pick a point here. If I go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and left 1, I fall right on top of the line. So that is okay to do, but typically we don't, except for certain situations. And I'm sure we'll come across that situation sometime over the next few classes. All right, last equation. This time we're going to have a slope that's already a fraction. Let's make it negative. Negative 2/3 x, let's say plus 1. Now this could be written in several different ways. I can do, write it down here at the bottom here. Negative 2 over 3, notice where my negative is at the top. It could be written right here in the middle, like that. Sometimes you'll see that. We always move the negative up to the top. Rarely do you see it written like this. Okay, remember I told you a long time ago, negatives are typically not written in the denominator. They're either written in the middle or on top. But when I handwrite it, this is where I put it at the top. Sometimes you'll see it out in the middle. Okay, let's analyze. Slope is negative 2/3. It's already a fraction, so I don't need to convert it into a fraction like I did up here. The 2 is negative. This is my rise. That means we'll go down 2. The 3 is positive. This is my run. We'll move to the right 3. My y-intercept is a positive 1. So let's go to my y-axis. Let's find positive 1. Here it is. Then let's find the second point. From this point that we just put on, we'll go down 2, right 3. So down 1, 2, right 1, 2, 3. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Let's go in the opposite direction. Let's do this. Up 2, left 3. Let's start from here. Up 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Up 2, left 1, 2, 3. Notice those points still fall on that line. So as I mentioned before, it is okay to go to the left, but we rarely do. Go ahead and draw my line in. And there you go. There's 4 examples on how to graph from slope-intercept form. This is the end of part 2. Part 3, we'll be talking about graphing from standard form.